Hello there, it's Sheila here. This video is to explain the reset and revision course that I have created. The course contains the blueprint for passing the AAA exam, learning how to write simple answers and score good marks in the exam. Now the results are out and I'm really sorry that you didn't make the pass mark. You must be feeling frustrated, devastated even, feeling lost, wondering what is it that you missed or what is it that you did wrong. And I'm hoping to provide some clarity as to how things turned out this way. But regardless of how you feel, it is important that you get back to the drawing board to analyze what went wrong and then adequately prepare to pass AAA this next sitting, and I'm here to help you to do just that in the next 6 weeks. So failing a subject does not mean that you're a failure, but what it does mean is that you are lacking in skills which are necessary to get sufficient marks for passing AAA. And we just need to fix this. So what could be some of the areas in which your skills have been inadequate and need improving? The first area is knowledge. One problem could be poor accounting knowledge. It could be that you had a weak pass in SBR when you did it the last time. Maybe you just had 50 marks, 51, 52. Or maybe you have forgotten the IFRSs. Maybe you passed B2 SBR some time ago. Maybe you're dealing with outdated accounting knowledge. Students who passed P2 some time ago may be unaware that IAS 17 has been replaced with IFRS 16 and that the term finance lease no longer applies and that the rules for sale and lease back have also changed. So what can you do to improve your accounting knowledge? You can learn the accounting by doing the past year questions by themselves. This is a very good way to build your knowledge, consolidate or refresh your accounting knowledge. The Reset program also includes a summary of IFRSs for you so that you can easily refresh your accounting knowledge. So these notes have been prepared so that you can quickly run through them. But poor accounting knowledge could also be because you have yet to attempt SBR. So if this is the case, I think it's a good idea for you to prepare for SBR first and take that exam before you do AAA. Otherwise, you'll be significantly handicapped. Another problem on the area of knowledge could be poor auditing knowledge. So it could be that the student is using outdated knowledge, maybe because they're using an old textbook or an old manual to prepare for AAA, or poor understanding of audit topics, like being confused as to how to determine the type of audit opinion that needs to be given in the exam answer, or maybe not knowing when letter of representation can be included in the answer and when it should not be included. So if this is you, then I would advise you to join the Reset program. The Reset program includes videos and notes on the latest auditing standards and ethical rules so that you can easily refresh and improve your understanding of auditing. Okay, so this one is on the area of knowledge. Another skill that is critical in AAA is exam strategy. So what is this about? It could be that when you did the exam, your answer was just too long, which means that you would not have had sufficient time to complete question 3. Another reason could be the answer lacks depth, sufficient detail. So this means that you write too little, and therefore the examiner cannot give you marks for that. Another thing inside exam strategy is that the student ignores the scenario. This will also not attract marks because the student has failed to apply the knowledge to the scenario. And to get marks in AAA, you must relate your answer to the scenario in this exam question. And that's really very important. So what can you do about it? Well, in this Reset course, I will teach you how to find the relevant points in the scenario and how to write simple answers which score marks. So your answer will not be too long. It will not be too short. Let me give an example. Let's take question 1, audit risk. So how do you find the relevant points in the scenario? I use an exam technique called DADS-R. So What does DADS R stand for? The first D is dollar value. So go through the scenario and find all the dollar values, and that would be brought into your answer. If the examiner does not give enough dollar values, look for anything that gives you an accounting treatment. Also, within the scenario, the examiner usually uses the terms during the year. So the next D is during the year. Sometimes they don't use the words during the year. They will just say in January or something like that. Then you know it's during the year. Pick that up. That goes into your answer as well. The S stands for the area of significant risk. So you need to know what it is, and we will go through that when we go through ISA 315 revised 2019, the new standard. Okay, and the last R will be revenue. Anything to do with revenue within the scenario, a problem with revenue in the scenario. We identify revenue as being a separate item because ISA 240 says that the auditor should presume that there is fraud in revenue recognition. So if there's anything in the scenario relating to revenue recognition, pick it up and put it into your answer. Alright, so this is how you find relevant points in the scenarios. I use a very simple acronym to make sure that you don't get lost while doing the exam question. Then how do you write an answer for audit risk? Well, I use an acronym called OMARI. So there are 5 steps inside here. We start out with the observation, we put down the materiality calculation, which will give you 1 mark up to a maximum of 3. Then we put down the accounting treatment and the risk here that management is going to do something wrong, and I is the impact on the financial statements as a result of that risk, that something is going to be overstated or understated. So it makes it really very easy. Now, there are other problems related to strategy as well, and that is poor time management. So this one requires discipline, requires practice and discipline. And slow typing speed. So what can you do about these 2 things? Practice. Practice on the ACCA CBE platform so that you are familiar with how to navigate the different exhibits, and you need to practice typing. Make sure that your typing speed is at least 35 words per minute. ACCA does not say 35 words per minute, but if you convert that to fast handwriting with a pen, then writing fast with a pen would equal to something like 35 words per minute in typing terms. Alright, knowing that you may already have sat for a full program before the last exam and that we only have got another few weeks before the next exam, I've created a reset and revision course. This course is much shorter than a full AAA program and focuses only on big mark questions. So there are only about 146 videos in this program. So what are the big mark questions here? You've got these 4 major areas. Audit risk, ROMM, comes out in question 1. Audit procedures can come out in question 1 and some other question. Finalization and reporting will be in section B, and ethical and professional issues. Now, these questions here require knowledge before you can tackle them. So for the first 3 types of questions, you definitely need the knowledge from your SBR. We need to know the 35 IFRSs. Then you need the auditing standards for doing the other 2. And we also need to be familiar with the 36 requirements of the ACCA code to tackle the ethical and professional issues. All these notes are available in the Reset program. So we are 100% sure that all these topics are going to come out because the examiner has said so. Audit risk, 20 marks. Audit procedures, about 10 marks. It can be more. Finalization, the examiners guaranteed it will be 25 marks. Ethical and professional issues, at least 10 marks. It can go up to 25 marks, depending on the sitting. So if you add all these marks together, what you get? 65 marks. So there's a lot of knowledge for you to get. So we've got these 4 topics, a lot of knowledge that you need to revise, understand, and remember. And we've also got some other topics. Regulatory environment, which you need to revise by yourself. Practice management. There's 8 marks inside here, especially the area of matters to consider in whether you want to accept a particular client. Then we've also got non-audit assignments. Quality control comes under practice management. So I'll have included videos on practice management and non-audit assignments in the research program as well. Regulatory environment, please revise that by yourself. So what is the learning strategy here? We've got 7 modules and these are the marks. So remember, this research course is much shorter than a full program. After all, we've only got a few weeks before the next exam. So what's the learning strategy for a research program? So there are 7 modules, right? So I would suggest you start with module 2. Do 2 questions here. Then go on to audit procedures, do another 2 questions. Go to finalization and reporting, do another 2 questions. The ethical and professional issues, 2 questions, 2 questions, 2 questions. Then after that, come back to module 2 and do another 2 questions. And go down this way. So this way, you'll constantly be revising earlier stuff as well. This kind of learning is called interleaving. That would help you with better understanding and also longer memory. All right, leave the ISAs to the very end or refer to the ISA videos as and when necessary. Time is really short. So how does it work? You've got module 2, let's say. First video you open is Z communication. So download and print the exam question. Then write out the answer to part A by yourself before viewing the video. I know at this stage you might not know the exam technique. Doesn't matter. Just write it out by yourself. See what you can produce. Look at your own output. Then open up the video. Compare your answer to the debrief video, note your mistakes, note the exam techniques and the tips. This way, your learning will be far more effective. This is active learning, not passive. Just watching the video by itself is passive learning and you will not retain very much. Then once you finish this, write out the answer to part B. And then after that, only view the video, do the corrections, note the exam techniques and the tips inside there. So the rule here is always do your answer before viewing the video. Now, once you log in into the website using your ID and password, you will enter into the program and you will see Z Communications here. Can you see that? And then on the right hand side, you will download the question. So you click that button and you can download the question here. Then you click this button here and you view the video. Now, the research course and revision is not some magic pill that you can take and voila, you pass the exam. There are no shortcuts. You will need to learn the knowledge. Take this step seriously. Make sure that you learn it. Don't look at it and say, yes, I know it from before. Yes, you're merely recognizing it. Learn the knowledge as if this is the first time you're sitting for the exam. Then understand how the knowledge is applied. Understand when you cannot apply this knowledge. And make sure that you remember this knowledge, not just learn and understand and then forget about it. If you forget it, then you won't be able to use it in the exam. Then you also need to practice producing the answers and practice time management. A lot of students do not practice time management, then they find that in the exam, they run out of time. Then you're going to do the revision course, and before the exam, please attempt the mock exam that I give you. Be diligent. Sit down and do it for 3 hours, 15 minutes. I will give you a detailed answer, which you can then use to mark your own answer. All right? So that's it. The research and revision course. So let's begin your program.